This is an interesting collaboration because it's the first time that I've written music specifically to be choreographed and in collaboration with a choreographer. So it was really, really interesting and helpful for Norbert to have had this workshop with the dancers. We'd already discussed themes that he wanted to explore, identity and place and other lofty ideas, but for them to be physicalized in such a way with dancers, with improvisation, was really inspiring. I had all of the videos loaded up on a playlist and would sit at the piano and kind of compose and improvise. For a while now, Norbert's been talking about his exploring the themes of identity and place, home, belonging. I recently had a commission with the Greek Youth Symphony Orchestra and was brought out to Greece. And that was my first time in Greece. And the reason I say first is because my parents are both from there. My entire family is from Greece. I grew up for all intents and purposes as a Greek Canadian. So that in my mid-30s to have been brought over on a fairly auspicious occasion was very meaningful, and the trip was then extended substantially as I turned it into a identity-finding mission in a very important way. I stopped at ancient Delphi and visited the Temple of Apollo, where one of the inscriptions originally on the Temple of Apollo was Gnothi Seafton, know thyself, which was a warning or a good bit of advice to visitors of the Oracle of Delphi to know themselves before they know what they can and ought to ask of the Oracle. And that was quite a symbolic thing, because the next stop on the trip was my mother's and grandfather's village, where I ended up meeting extensive family and creating strong connections. And so when I got back from Greece, I spent the first few weeks in New York working on this piece. And it tied so perfectly together with the project, with what Norbert was interested in exploring, and it came very fluidly and very quickly. It's in 4 movements, partly just inspired by 4 sets of solos in that initial workshop with the dancers, and partly considering my trip to Greece and this process of getting to know myself, getting to know my roots. Each movement would therefore tell a milestone part of a narrative in the process of getting to know oneself as one prepares to ask the Oracle some important questions or to make a statement to the world. So now, with this piece having been inspired by Norbert's concept and movements and then that trip to Greece, what's interesting is it's a complete composition. It's finished. So now it's out of my hands. I'm really curious over the next few months to see what Norbert and the dancers will be doing, and the musicians, of course, in realizing it and, I don't know, perhaps even stretching or compressing proportions if need be. I really don't know what the process is. This is a learning experience for me as well. I can't wait to hear it.